A Georgia database is supposed to stop people once hospitalized for a mental illness from buying guns.
This is a major loophole. It's a lapse in security.
But all new at 6, a Channel 2 Action News investigation found thousands of names purged from that list.
This is something that is a real problem, and we do need to take action.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Channel 2 Action News at 6 p.m. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jovita Moore.
I'm Justin Farmer, and since 2013, more than 2,000 Georgians with a mental illness were removed from a database that is supposed to stop people from being able to buy guns. New at 6, Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie live at GBI headquarters. And Mark, this information is critical for gun store owners.
That is correct. The GBI director says unless their mental health has been restored and they've gone through an appeal process, Georgians who have been involuntarily committed to a mental health facility are not supposed to be able to buy guns. But in more than 2,000 cases in just the last 5 years, 13 so far this year, there is a big problem.
Sadly, this is a loophole big enough to push an active shooter through.
This is a major loophole. It's a lapse in security.
GBI Director Vernon Keenan says after 5 years on the list, the names of Georgians involuntarily committed to a mental institution are automatically purged from the database of people who are not legally allowed to buy guns. And there's nothing voluntary about purging them because Georgia law requires it.
What's your greatest fear about this?
That someone who is prohibited by federal law from possessing or purchasing a firearm due to being involuntarily hospitalized in a mental institution would be able to procure a firearm because the information is not in the FBI database.
Keenan says in many, if not most cases, the people whose names have been purged are still legally banned from buying firearms, but there is no way for gun stores to know once they're taken out of an FBI database.
How many states purge their records like this after 5 years?
We're not aware of any other state that purges their involuntary hospitalization records from the FBI database.
He says Georgia probate courts are great about reporting involuntary commitments to the GBI, and the GBI electronically sends those names to the FBI, which maintains a database potential gun purchasers are checked against during background checks when someone wants to buy a gun from a licensed dealer. Keenan says in the past 5 years, more than 2,000 names have been purged, and probably thousands more before that. He says a bill sponsored by State Senator Elena Parent
Before we have a tragedy,
would plug the gap, eliminating automatic purging.
it would instead set up a hearing process back before a probate judge.
Now, Jerry Henry from GeorgiaCarry.org says his gun rights organization has supported in the past and still supports the idea of ending the purging of involuntary commitment records after 5 years, so long as the legislation provides due process for people who are no longer mentally ill to have their gun rights reinstated. Reporting live at GBI headquarters, Mark Winnie, Channel 2 Action News.